Hi, Alan Schimmel, DevOps.com, here at DevOps Enterprise Summit 2015. And I'm joined by Campbell of Context Matters. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And you actually just finished presenting on teams to tribes.
Yep, creating a one-team culture.
And that's a really DevOps-ish type of title.
It is, isn't it?
Why don't you explain to our audience a little bit, though, about what exactly you were talking about?
So what I was really talking about is how do you go from a large group of people who are in different departments, different silos, teams or not teams, and form teams and then stitch those teams together to create a tribe. So a group of 50 to 150 people who work together, who have a shared identity, who care about each other, and how powerful that can be in terms of getting results.
Absolutely. And you know, one of the things, we've interviewed a lot of people here in just the first day of the show, and we talk a lot about tools and this tool and that tool, and we try to emphasize, but it's cultural, right? The cultural aspect has to come first.
Yep.
Because without the right culture, the tool doesn't really make a difference.
Absolutely.
And so, was there any particular case study that you cited for your talk today, or?
I talked about some of the experiences I've had over the last 3 to 4 years working with large technology shops. So no specific case study.
We didn't name any names.
We didn't name any names,
Okay.
but we did talk about some various experiences I've had with some various organisations with photos of real people.
Oh, okay, that counts.
That counts. So yeah, all based in fact, real life stories.
Very good. And what about your background? How did you come to be involved in this?
So I actually came to be involved in, I guess, this community through Jean Kim last year, who out of the blue contacted me and said, I read your blog. Okay, who knew?
Yeah.
And says, would you come and speak at my conference? Sure. And I just figured he wanted me to talk about agile cultural stuff because that's really mainly what I do. And then I found out that what he really wanted people to talk about was DevOps case studies.
Right.
So I Googled DevOps, worked out that was probably give or take what I called agile technical practices. As it turned out, I had a good story, so that was the story I told last year, and I got invited back to talk again. So that's how I came to be involved in the community. Yeah, I guess so.
What has been your impression of the show this year so far?
Oh, it's amazing. It's funny, every year, I did the same thing last year, I go, I'm not really sort of hugely into DevOps. I had a good story, I had some relevant information, but it's this sort of conference I'd expect to find myself at. And I just, I walked out of the keynotes this morning and I went, I really do enjoy this conference. It's a group of people telling real life stories and giving really good, solid, practical advice. So it's one of those conferences that you don't sit there going, really? Are you sure? It's sort of more the conference that you go, yeah, that's good. I agree with that. And the case studies are great. I mean, when you're in the consulting business, like I am, it's always good to be able to say, well, Target are doing this, and Google did that, and
sure does. And I think that's probably one of the differences between last year's and this year's. And it used to be that you would hold up one example or an anonymous example, and this year you literally have namely vertical and you have multiple examples. And I think that's the DevOps community right now. We are, there's no doubt that it's sort of crossed the chasm and it is into the mainstream. Fair enough. What does the future hold, though? Where do you think DevOps will be in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, I tend to think that the DevOps and Agile communities, will and need to merge. As I said, I came to this from the Agile angle. As a Agile practitioner, I wasn't able to really find a difference. There was nothing about DevOps that didn't feel lean and agile to me. And I think that would be quite powerful for those communities to come together. I certainly think the practices and principles go hand in hand. and organisations that are succeeding are clearly doing both, right? Everyone this morning is talking about agile.
Absolutely.
And I don't feel that came through quite as strongly last year, but that seems to be the
I
trajectory from my view.
agree with you. I think agile is just it's such an integral piece of this whole. I think DevOps is really an umbrella term for the new way we do things, and agile and lean is certainly part of that. And some of the mega trends that we see in technology are part of it as well. But anyway, Em, thank you very much for joining us today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the time here at the DevOps Enterprise Summit.
Thank you.
Thank you.